They know that there are teams close by and the circle has come through, so we know where that's going to be. That is towards the southeast side of the map. Almost slap bang in the middle would be, yeah, I guess, shelter a little to the south of it. So you're looking at that sort of area to be where they crunch towards. But now he gets to see it all open in front of you. Who gets first blood? Who's going to get the loot they want? Where are these teams going?
All right then, so we've got the usual format here. If we look across to South George, now this is an interesting one because as we look at Gen.G Black, they've gone for the 2-2 split. It looks to me like potentially they might try and box in WTSG. They know WTSG's here. Avanga, they're happy. They can do the usual thing. They'll just chill in the north. However, when we look at CGX, I didn't expect to be so far up in Zaki.
No, it's curious here. We are seeing 4AM working away across the bridge. We did have a little glimpse of that as well, heading south. But there are teams waiting over in Nova. Now, I don't know how looted up this team is, so this could be a problem. He doesn't even have a mini. This could be a picked up kill. This could be first blood in the tournament. This could be everything coming through here. The mini does get the tag, but it doesn't get the frag just yet. This could be huge now.
He may have at least touched the tire. You saw the cow wobbling a little bit as the rest of 4AM. They will try.
It's going to be a one-shot now while the players there
connection.
Just about making their way.
Reload saved his life. Lucky man.
God V is counting his stars.
So where are they pinning them back? Okay, I love it. The fact that you actually have fan bases here. I don't think we've quite seen this on this scale yet and on this level where fans literally turn up to support their teams.
And I'm wondering if that was a bit of a read into the other team as well. If you're looking at the bridge areas, you know how a team likes to play. You know their rotation moves. You position one man towards it. Could be a piece of a bit of mind play there. I like the idea of it, but everyone is still alive. No one wants to be the first to fall.
Okay, so let's talk about the ones that we actually did get correct. Now, Liquid, we know they've got yesterday. Happy days for them. No one's touching Liquid because they're absolute monsters. The Knights from Europe, they're in the same place as ever. Just the left-hand side of the Vodka. Do what they want. Watch the people driving by. Savage, now there's no phase here, so you'll see them in Milter Power. Sometimes when we cast them before, you will always see phase there, but they can just go across all the bank from the power down to the mini power all along the coastline. Meanwhile, further left, we keep going through. We see Honey Badger Nation. Now, I expected them to go Nova. They even said, we're going Nova, it's not a problem. They backed off. So this is where we see Gen.G Gold. They're allowed to go home. They get the usual place of Nova. And it's 4AM who end up being inside military. Usual place for Navi, down at bottom in Prim. Ironically, no one's actually there to kind of even bother them. However, the play route wasn't too good for them. It did take a bit of time to get there. They've only just landed on their feet. They need to get that loot now and then start to get a wiggle on because that circle is quite far away.
But yes, it is far away. The thing is that they've had not much going their way. With the circle and the plane route combining, it does mean they are going to be chipped away at time. And I'm wondering if anyone goes for like early good positioning here, if anyone's going to be that quick. It's very early game mode to be doing that. But you are going to be seeing teams kind of considering, because we know there's not that many hard compounds, quote unquote, if you look at towards the area that's probably going to centralize on, that kind of southern area. Possibly by the lumberyard. It's very tricky to get good positioning there because there's a lot of open ground, a lot of hillside. So we are starting to see some of the teams working their way towards certain positions. They may not be fully happy with the loot they've got, but at this point you want to get that positioning early. Send that one man out to claim that good spot, so then you can pull the rest of your players into the same position.
The Knights have got a good run because they're so split and that's how they do it. They'll send one or two down to Lepovka. You'll see Kramer up at the top and then box it, usually kicking it somewhere around prison. They're really spread out. Now that circle, if I was a betting man, I'd probably suggest it's going to shift north. We will soon find out. You'll probably look in the bottom corner. We've also got the new observer tools on there. You can see the time of what's currently on the game. You can see how many teams are alive, how many players, and then the blue zone phase. So that time is until it actually clicks over. So you'll have two timers. You'll see one till the next phase is actually about to move, and then two, how long it is till it touches the edge. You mentioned earlier on 4AM, they did get a bit tanked up to get down onto Millie base, but now they've kind of at least, we did see in scrims as well that they did go here a few times. That's a 24. That's a nice goal. Is that nice silenced as well? Did I catch it?
I can't see it at that angle. I'm not sure. But the one thing about military bases, it's the supplementing loot that you sometimes lack. I think Boogie slightly highlighted it on the desk as well, is the fact that sometimes you don't always get those perfect scopes. You don't get all the perfect attachments because they just don't seem to have the place here. So again, that could be a factor. We are seeing at least a little bit of the scopes on here. And actually, Wick, he's a danger man. We know it can be. This could be first blood, and it will be. Wick confirms. And the Aussies fall down under, and Champs is not going to be feeling so good about that one.
Yeah, that's not a Not a good way to start. Wick claims the first victim. Honey Badger Nation, 15 points in the bag. And if you look on Champ's name in the top right-hand corner, you will see the red splatter. That means they are confirmed dead. Before, you wouldn't actually see that. You'd see a skull, but now you will see a blood mark. When you see the blood mark, they're out of the game. They're deleted from the server. Looking at the overview as well.
Well, this is look at how many teams are posturing for this area. Everyone wants this position very quickly. This is what I theorize would be end game, quote unquote. But you've got to be careful here. You don't want to kind of put yourself in a position where everyone's eyes on you. You've got to try and play that timing just right, and that is the name of the game, and it's so tricky to do it. Every
time I look at this car, I just think of that edgy t-shirt I had as a kid. The black shirt that we're all over as we do whip across to Myth. Just trying to take control here on the side of the lumber mill. Looking across as Refund do try and get up there. If they get in the lumber, they're pretty much going to be central, so it would be it'd be decent for them. Nice little bit of pacing. They can move up there. James, however, in the kill feed.
Now, let's also remember, this being third-person perspective, a lot more of these just kind of terrain-based positions become very viable. It's not just hard compound, Scoon's getting in on the action. This is Liquid lining up the kill feed very early on, and a couple more shots come through. The connections aren't so perfect, but James, he's being a little bit naughty about this. He's been a little bit relentless.
So they've taken one player out there from Oyeon, and at least took the tires out of the vehicle. Now that vehicle's gone completely, so they just smashed that to a million pieces. The smoke's down at least, so you can run away with this one. Keep your eye out, folks, for all various little differences here, especially on the observer mode. There are a few new tools that PUBG are going to be showing off, and they are damn good because they give us so much more information. Meanwhile, this is let's talk about this team then. Gen.G Black obviously not had the greatest of runs over in the Korean leagues. However, still second place is pretty damn good. They won the first initial out of all the Pro Tours. They came first. And then after that, everything kind of escalated down. Every time we saw Gen.G Gold get second, these guys got 11th. I think they got 11th 2 or 3 times back to back.
This is going to be a bit of a breach here. There's players right on by. This is huge. Wick's already got 1 kill, so he's got, you know, first blood in the back of his mind, but he could be in for another bit of a problem here. He doesn't realize how many players there are possibly, or maybe he does. Fast Trail's going to be able to spot this one out, and they're on the run. They're getting out of there. They felt the danger. They don't want any of that. Wick might be able to switch over to the 16, get a bit of damage done, but Windfall make it away.
Yeah, they definitely had some sort of info there. They at least got away with it. Happy days for them. Windfall do keep all 4 alive. And this is the thing when we look at all these teams, they've all been here. They're all event winners. You wouldn't be here if you wasn't at the end of the day. So they all have a very, very good idea to play. Speak a little bit more about what you mentioned with the TPP side of things and those aspects. Obviously, there's a lot of old Armor boys in here. Coming back to it and looking at all these different players and talking to them, all right, it brings it back. It brings back the memories and rolls back the years, so to speak, that they can at least have this information laying down. I mean, laying down in itself, all right, we talk about snakes and stuff, but able to lay down and get the lay of the land, know where the cracks and all the crevices are. These guys know this map, Erangel, like the back of their hand. If there's a tiny, tiny little ditch, bump, or crevice, they'll abuse it.
Oh yeah, they know exactly where they can position, whether it be hard cover or not. So for now, a lot of teams just trying to find their place. We're looking for when that circle hits and moves to the next spot. Is it going to be a hard shift? Will it push players into an uncomfortable position? For now, no one's playing massively late either. We'll see a lot of games where teams are taking their time here. We're here in a car 98, and that gets me excited. But overall, we will see teams, you know, occasionally taking their time, maybe not fancying the early rotations, you know, just working edge circle. But for now, it looks like everyone's going very central here. This is what I mean about those opening game nerves, is that teams will not want to take any risks. It's okay, what's the safest bet? And this is it.
They could have moved a little bit down the hill, not too far from where they're starting as now. They could have stayed in if they really want to, but not last to arrive. It's going to be Na'Vi, all 4. 3 vehicles between them, happy days for them. The Chiefs will be seeing this one. There's no point in even taking shots because A, you're going to give away your position, and B, you're already down a man, so you don't want to be losing more. We are only, of course, 10 minutes into this game, 1 man down. It's not very, very good. The last team that will be arriving will be Gen.G Black. Do you see are we seeing a couple of vehicles?
I think they're okay. I don't think they're going to really go for much. The vehicles are safe. They're pretty well positioned. I don't know if they're going to go for too many peaks. Their gear's not great. I'm seeing level 1 vest, level 1 helmet. It's not ideal. So that could be a factor down the line, that if you've got to be careful with what you have. But 4 AM on the move, just going to be trying to position themselves here. But OMG aren't far away, and their position's going to be quite tricky for 4 AM to get past. But considering 4 AM probably play this position a lot, you've got to feel they know how to deal with this.
I think as well, if you're going to be knowing that this is 4 AM, OMG obviously being this is the Chinese team that fell second to them. To come here, you want a little bit of revenge. If you can take these boys out, it's going to give you so much confidence. But again, 4 AM rocking that M24, you've got to be careful. That thing will take your face off, especially if you don't have the range. I mean, you need at least M16 with a 4 times to be able to tap fire back and give some sort of cover fire support. At the moment, they're in a really good position. They're central pretty much of the map. They've got the gas station locked down. They've also got a little bit of utility in the buildings to the left, and if they do need to evacuate, they've got the vehicles to do that. GIện I still wandering on the old hillside. This is something that I think comes from the TPP kind of region. Notice how some of them will take vehicles and then they'll actually eject players on, while the rest of them kind of, all right, we've seen it in Europe where you'll get that initial scout, so to speak.
We've gone to the east. You can see the big shift now. It was kind of centralized, well, previously it was centralized towards the lumberyard. Now it's kind of shifted all the way to the east, and that's a lot of blue. That's a lot of water in there. That's going to make it quite tricky for these teams to find good positions, because we already know the Liquid's got that god tier compound that I love. I think that's a really nice spot. You have a couple of teams in Malta early, but that thing can be quite tricky to rotate away from, push them out of there. If it shifts you back central, late game, you're going to be in trouble. All these teams are going to be looking for room, and this is going to be terrifying, and this could be a bigger problem. The AK tears him down.
Yes, but TG, they've got to turn base.
He's getting tracer fire from way further away as well. Larson needs to be very careful here. The nades come down, but he's going to be pinned into this one, feeling very isolated and very pressured. Dre from the back lines finding Gaxi. That is massive play coming out.
So we got Mossy onto Larson, we got Knights onto Gaxi, so we got TG and Knights just picking apart WTSG. Vard needs to make something happen. The grenade goes off in front of him, his screen is shaking, that noise is so brutal.
There's no way they're getting revives out here, there is no way they're saving their teammates. Vard might have to just bail on this. Gaxi could be picked up potentially, but it depends how aggressive these guys want to get. If they want to push this,
such a nasty position. TG still laying down fire to the left-hand side. This is 4 teams. This is what's going to happen now with this circle. They're all just going to be crushed together and compacted. 76 players for this circle when there's about 40%, maybe 30% water is ridiculous. Everyone's going to be on their coastline, and then when the circle does, if it does move back towards the west, you'll then get all those coastline people just unfortunately boxed in a little bit too much. Chaleta comes round the corner, and we do see THM ready, waiting, confirms the kill with the Tommy gun of all things. Fair play. Find what you can and make it work. Level 1 vest, level 2 helmet, and Tommy gun. All right, the M4's there, but still not the greatest to be working here with.
No, but doing marvelously as is. Let's see if that AK can get back into this, though. Hands of Eska. Known to be a bit of a player here, but we need to see the numbers reflecting that. Need the kills to be coming through, but this is a lot of teams split in very kind of individual positions here.
I mean, we've got to be careful. Savage just in the distance as well. If Floku and his partner decide to move up into the mini-mill to power area and kind of look...
That, if prisons weren't scary enough, Richard, add these lot to it.
I'm just looking at how much range Knights have. I don't know if you noticed, I think they had 2 SLRs and a K98 between them.
I'm seeing it, yeah, they've got plenty.
It's ridiculous. Level 1, level 2. Oh, Evanger's taking a bit of fire. That's the M24, so Ono himself, pretty well-known sniper. Winner's actually going to give him a bit of a taste of his own medicine, completely takes his head off. They'll be able to crawl inside there, provided there's no grenades. Because you can, it's really, the only problem with those containers, it's really easy to bounce nades through the door, and then you compact it so much. This is the position we're talking about on the rock side. It's okay being here, and it's a really good position now for the circle, but if it does shift more towards the west, they're then fighting an uphill battle.
I'm just wondering if Winner knows where the 2-2 split may be. I don't know if he's aware of the other 2 players, Keen and Amino. That could be the issue. If he tries to overextend to pick up one of these 2 again, punish them like he did before, that could be a bit of a problem, but Tyson's going for a bit of a walk as well. These guys aren't resting on their laurels. They're very active in the way they're playing this. They're very much looking for opportunities and being aware of where they could be pinched from. That could have been a spot there as well. It looks like Winner might